crunching break from Chris Melling. These two put in arguably the two best semi-final performances we've ever seen on the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. I think Chris Melling probably put in performance number one, a 7-0 demolition job of Carl O'Donoghue, who didn't play a single shot in open table. Chris Melling was absolutely flawless, and in his own words, played the best he has ever played. That is ominous form if you're Shane Thompson.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? But he's been on one, hasn't he, all day long. For whatever reason, he's turned up and he's just been not just winning, but dismantling people. It's been quick fire, entertaining, but immediately wrong here. Gone too far, so it's a reroute straight away.
Yeah, if he was a couple of rolls further north, he'd be on the red he wanted to be, to the top right. The reroute's available to him. It's a little bit tricky, Mines. Got a little bit of work to do here. And if it wasn't for the fact that Shane Thompson also won his semi-final 7-1, you could forgive him for thinking, well, I'm in for one in this final, I've got to play well. Shane's also playing beautifully. 7-1 victory over Oli Bale. Only one mistake, really, from Shane, and that was in the final frame where he let Oli in and got himself on the boards. But pretty much flawless from the safecracker as well. These two have been brilliant today in their route through to this final, and they get to try and seal the deal with another Ultimate Pool trophy. These two have been hoarders of trophies and prize money on the Ultimate Pool circuit.
Good plan. Still has to sort these out. Now he can't play red at the top to get on the red at the bottom below the 8 ball easily at all. So he needs to come down the table, deal with the one below the 8 ball and go back up. Even if he cannons the yellow at the top of the table full ball, then he'll just have the 8 ball from distance. So it's not too bad.
Got to play a very, very precise positional shot here as Chris Melling. He's quite good at those, mind. This is tough, though.
Oh, he's come behind the yellow. Yeah. I think the reason he wanted to get so precise on it, if he leaves the cue ball a foot short of there, he's going into the yellow, but he might be going into the yellow on the left-hand side of it, and therefore might not be guaranteed to get onto the 8. So I think that's why he was trying to get a little bit further up the table than I first thought he might.
Wasn't far away from that. Good effort, not to be. And a frustrating start for Chris Melling. Took on a tough finish, didn't get it, and he got all of them earlier on. Every last one.
And a wide open chance for Shane to start off here. Interesting storyline for me is that Chris Melling's the only player to have won every season with Ultimate Pool. The only player that can match that is Shane Thompson. And here he is in the final. This is his final chance to match Chris, and it's against Chris.
Yeah, these two have been probably two of the most consistent players on the tour. You'd probably say, if you were being almost a little bit critical, that Shane's had a little bit more ebbs and flows. When he's been good, he's been unbelievable, but he has had a couple of tournaments that, a couple of tournament stretches where he's not been maybe at his best. But by and large, I mean, on the whole, I mean, what a time he's had of it. thing that pleased Shane the most in his semi-final victory against the Bullet was his break. He was absolutely crushing them. Cue ball was on point, power was good, and Shane told me afterwards his break was actually giving him a bit of grief. He couldn't believe he was in the position he was in that semi-final in the first place because his break was so poor all weekend, but he found it in the semi, and how. The open play game has been pretty good from Shane. We saw that earlier on here on the main table when he came through against Carl Sutton. Been putting plenty of time in. He's got a big money match coming up. I mean, he's a big player anyway. He's never really off the table, but been putting in the extra hours, so it feels like he's got the touch.
Yeah, he told me earlier on this week that a lot of time spent in China means he's obviously playing a lot, but he's seeing the patterns really, really well. And just a few hours on the table just to get the feel, the touch and the rhythm going, and he feels very, very dangerous because of that.
Which is worrying news for his opponents. Chris won't be too overly concerned. He knows how good a player Shane is. He knows he himself is playing and breaking well enough to have his opportunities in this match. It's been a precise and clinical start to proceedings from Shane Thompson. Reverse clearance following Chris running agrounds. And a very smooth and clinical break and run. And Ireland's answer to Posh and Beck's, Sean Sharkey and Carrie Randall.
Wow, how about that break?
I mean, he is breaking unbelievably at the moment.
Yeah, I felt earlier on this weekend when I commentated on him that his break may be as good as we've seen it. I felt like he was reaching back for a little bit more power. Still not absolutely full power, but he's certainly bringing the cue ball back a lot more. He's been playing around with this kind of top spin break for a while that has had mixed results. This one, to me, looks like the absolute winner. Red's the choice then, and really is nothing doing here on the Reds. They all go. A bit in between on this one. Not a good angle on anything. This time back into good position using the top cushion. He's on all three balls, so it's just pick which one you want to connect these together. He wants the one at the bottom of the table. If he goes for the one by the 8 ball, he's got to play a good positional shot. Which he's done.
He's playing some naughty pool at the moment, Chris Melling. But he does that. Back on Shane Thompson's break. Oh, Shane. Whatever you've done with your break, mate, bottle it. Because if he could break like this every single time, I mean, he wouldn't lose very many matches.
The interesting thing for me is that sort of mid-morning this morning, I was chatting to him, so just after his last 16 win, and he said he's really struggling to find anything off the break. He felt like he was breaking
he was.
brilliantly.
It just all came through in the semi-final. How crazy is that?
Yeah, and he said it's amazing. I'm in a quarter-final of a tournament where I can't buy a ball off a break. Well, that's turned around, isn't it?
Yeah, hasn't it just?
The splits these guys are getting as well, they're just excellent. Even across the table, plenty of room to work, most balls go. And when you've got players with the patterns and cue ball control of these two, it's normally a recipe for a lot of finishes.
Yeah, it certainly is.
What's the angle like? Not perfect, but he's just about straight enough. Even if he came back and hit the red, he'd be on the 8 ball to the bottom of the table. I thought he might be slightly off worse than this, but he's fine. Yeah, even avoid the red, he was absolutely perfect.
Oh, it's a serious level these lads are playing, it really is. Oh, Chris gets a bit of a taste of his own medicine there, or rather a bit of a taste of Carl O'Donoghue's medicine. That was exactly what the Irishman did plenty of times in his semi-final against Chris. He flushed the break and had no friends.
Yeah, that one was a little bit, maybe a touch higher on the cue ball there, because it came back and sort of had that spin to stop it dead, whereas the previous one really exploded everywhere. He ripped it back and kind of got the cue ball to the top cushion and back down. I mean, the break was still fully deserved the ball. It was incredible, very powerful, huge split, great control. So I'm not being critical of it, just a slight difference to the one that was so successful previously. Reds are pretty good here, and you can see him just pointing his cue. That tells us the red furthest left at the top of the table passes the other red to the top right, which is really helpful. And connection here is all pretty good. With the right angle, you can drift from the second one at the top behind the break line onto the one on the cushion comfortably, and that one on the cushion connects to the one in the open nicely as well, and vice versa.
Extension call.
Shane is in a punishing mood.
It's just a pleasure to watch, isn't it?
It's so good.
Just simple stuff.
The last ball rolling. Never, ever, ever apologise for that.
Yeah, I can't get on board with this. I just can't get on board with it. What? You don't apologise if you get the first ball rolling in. Why worry about the last ball?
It may well be the least sincere apology in the world.
I mean, the grimace on Chris's face, the apology from Shane, but I mean, you're trying to get a ball off the break. He hit them really, really well. He deserved a ball. He got a ball. I mean, I can maybe I deal with it. If the cue ball's flying in and it gets kicked out, I understand it. But there, it was a perfect break. Deserved a ball.
Yeah, absolutely did. Completely agree.
Got his line wrong here. This may be the first mistake from Shane Thompson's side of the table in the match. He has nothing on.
And I wonder.
So it's a containing shot from Shane. And fairly well contained. I think Chris can see the edge of these yellows. I don't think he can do too much with them. Yeah, clearly see the edge of them. Also, the yellow directly by the cue ball right now is pretty bad. You've got the red, yellow in the bottom. The table's also not ideal, so even if he was able to find a shot, he has work. Oh, Chris. Oh, he's always got something up his sleeve, and that is a beautiful nudge for him. Assuming this yellow goes on the bottom cushion, but how about this?
Oh, it's just naughty, isn't it? It's a fantastic shot.
Yeah, and
he's still got work to do, which is the craziest thing.
He is eyeing up the short position, so this one at the bottom must go, as he's thinking about the rest of the finish. Yeah, clearly flew in. May have gone a turn too far to get that short position straight away. I think if he can get behind the yellow on the left-hand side, it will go top right. It will go left, right centre once the other yellow's out of the way for sure, but maybe before that. Gives him a little bit of room to play with, but not much. What's the angle like this time? He steps back to have a good look at it. I think the fact that he's eyeing up, yeah, he's just a fraction off the perfect angle here, so we'll use the other yellow now.
What a finish. What a finish. He is some player.
Oh, complete miss hit from Chris, and he's going to get rewarded.
Yep, there's the hand of apology.
Yeah, well, I have less sympathy for less issues with a hand of apology when you miss hit it and you make a ball, but anyway, it's not really about my feeling towards it. And it is a messy, messy layout, so he's got work here. There's so much work.
Well, these are the ones which we can really enjoy from Chris Melling every now and again.
Yeah, I would be suggesting from a lot of players here, maybe slow down and pull back and wait for a better opportunity, but Chris is having none of that here.
It's not really what he does, is it?
Yeah, and why would you? He's seen the breakout shot straight away. But to be honest, a lot of players in that situation, they sort of they'll see the same thing cut. But he's worked out what he wanted to do, how he wanted to play it, the pace, the angle he was going into them to try and give it every chance of opening up. And it's no surprise to have it come out as good as it has, as played.
And he may well be in business. He's still got work, but you're just getting that sense from Chris that he is seeing sounds. Well, those are collector's items. Missed pots are a very, very rare thing when it comes to Chris Melling.
This could be huge in this match. Okay, it's not exactly where he wanted to be on it, but still expecting him to get it. Shane's just lost the cue ball to shade here. More than a shade, actually. Recalculating.
Extension called.
Well, he's digging. Another one that's not gone to plan, but he's still okay. Still absolutely fine, actually. Die this one into the top left-hand corner and then use the one right centre to come down the table. You will have to drop this in, you feel. You won't want to run too far down the table. Wants a nice angle on the red to right centre. Yeah, dies it in, and that's absolutely fine.
Well, you feel like we've watched a very even match between two world-class players here, and yet it's a 5-2 lead for Shane Thompson. He leads by 3 frames here.
Oh, wow. 8-ball flies in.
Really not sure if I've ever seen Shane break this well.
Yeah, and Shane. I think Shane thought he made another ball here. It's only the 8-ball that goes down. It looked like he was about to sort of work out what he wanted to do, and it's not him to play, it's Chris. 8-ball comes back up, counts as a dry break, which is quite ridiculous considering the quality of the break. That may be the best break in terms of quality I've ever seen him hit.
Yeah, I don't love that rule.
Yeah,
I think it's one that you can debate until the cows come home.
Yeah.
It's not one that I'm a massive fan of. I understand why it's there,
Red ball's in play.
but for me, when you break, you're trying to make a ball. You're not trying to make any particular ball. I think that being loss of turn is tough.
Yeah, I mean, you see it both ways. He's made a ball off the break, and therefore you can say well, he should continue, but equally, all 15 balls are still on the table, so you can see it the other way around as well. But yeah, it's not one that sits overly comfortably, but I sort of just about right probably. There's not much in it. It's certainly needed though, from Chris Melling's perspective. 5-2 down. His opponent's break, he needed something, otherwise this match could get away quickly, and he now has an opportunity and has the next break. So a chance to go 2 quick ones and tighten this match up quite a bit. A little bit awkward actually to get on the one below the 8 ball here.
Cool.
Yeah, gone down for it now because of that.
I mean, how well he cued that?
Yeah, and it's hard to get that much side on. That really was an excellent shot.
There's that little top spin break that you talked about.
Yeah, which he hasn't been using as much this week.
I really love it. It's such a difficult skill, that, but when it's good, it's so good.
Well, does he have an opening red? The two yellows at the top of the table are awkward. I suppose you can make the plant there. So yellows aren't terrible. One good plant and the rest are there.
Yellow balls in play.
He's got the gap here. Ooh, is he trying to get a fuller contact on that red? Quite possibly.
Yep.
No, he didn't. He actually was trying to slide past it. If that one went, I thought he might have been playing a safety shot actually, the way he was queuing up there, but he could actually get through to the potting angle. That was excellent and very precise for the cue ball for 2 or 3 shots on the trot here. It's a difficult pot though. It was a difficult pot, trust me.
He does have that really annoying habit of making that look so easy. It wasn't.
His smile out there, he had a little look at Shane because he knows he hit that one up to the top right a little thick. So does Shane. Oh, he's hit that so good as well. Oh, and he's going to be an off. I mean, how do you hit 2 breaks as good as that back to back and get less than 0 reward for it? I mean, it's so poor to be kicked in like this. It's so tough to take, and obviously the previous one, the 8 ball, was the only ball in.
Yeah, it's brutal. It is brutal. Maybe that is the opening that Chris Melling needs.
Extension call. Yellow ball's in play.
Nice little bump just to get the 8 ball into play a little bit more. Not that he really needed it to, but has played. Also helped just control the cue ball. It's just a really nicely mapped out finish once again from Chris Melling. Just all too easy for him.
It's world class from these two. Starting to head towards the latter stages of this one. Wowee.
Chris got this break all wrong. You just know when the cue ball's flying around like this, he nearly pots it in the centre. So just above it there, and look at the side on it to bring it back down. Nearly goes in the right hand side. What's he left though? He's got yellow top left, and actually my first thought was at least he wasn't going to have an easy chance on, but he actually has.
Yeah, he does.
He's, easy's the wrong word, but it is. Chris will tell you easy. I wonder if the yellow passes the other yellow to bottom left. If not, he's not on anything here. I think he thought just float this into the middle of the table. It'd be on a choice of
Extension.
2, maybe 3, and he's not on either. I'm sure he was playing on the one bottom left, but he's not there. Yeah, clearly see it. And misses the plan. A mistake.
Well, well, well.
Almost a routine error from Chris, really. This is pretty ABC for Shane. Doesn't have to do too much more than just float in the pots. Natural cue ball will work all the way here.
Every frame at this stage matters so much. 2/3 of the way through this Pro Series final. Shane Thompson is 2 away. Oh, that break.
This time, though, rewarded.
Certainly was. Lovely strike from Shane. almost a Cadbury's parrot. Top left. Shane was well aware of that. It was the only ball that went down as well. It would have been unbelievably cruel if that spat back out.
He knew he was getting those cannons on the opening shot and wasn't fully aware of where it was going to finish, but controlled it pretty well. Connections here aren't absolutely certain. He might be a touch straight on this one. He has got plenty of angle, but he needs to force it across. You see where the red is sort of almost in itself, just below the break line. That's the line he's trying to get to. If he could put the cue ball where that red was, it'd be ideal. He actually could have done with another 2 or 3 turns of angle here. Maybe the cue ball stopping 2 or 3 turns short of where it is now. He has to force this. Yeah, got that line wrong, and he knew it, and he knows how big it is. Every mistake in the match of this quality and 2 players playing like this is magnified.
That was Shane's chance to go on the hill, and he knows the quality that's going to come back at him from the other corner is such that this frame may already be gone.
Yeah,
and going to try and force it back the other way.
And I know it sounds strange, but he's thinking that because Chris won the lag, this could be everything. And obviously Chris has now got wide open chance to go 6-6. He has the next break. And if Chris finds 2 breaks, there's nothing Shane can do. And that's the level we're sort of seeing here. That was Shane's opportunity to almost steal the lag away from him. And whatever happens in the next frame, he knows he's breaking for the match.
Yep.
He may not get that opportunity.
They are tiny margins, we talk about them a lot. That may be all you get.
Simple as you like, this counter clearance for Chris. All square it is. This is Chris's ninth final with ultimate pool.
Yeah, and he knows that as well.
Yeah.
He's don't get it wrong, he's an incredibly laid back character and he has an awful lot of fun with his game, but he is one of the most competitive individuals I've ever met, and he takes a great amount of pride in his work, and he's fully aware of his record, and he wants to constantly be looking to improve it.
Balls in play.
Slightly tricky in the top half of the table. Obviously, one on the break line's fine, one nearest the top left is fine. The other one is awkward enough. It does go left centre, obviously. If he wants to play at left centre, as in he doesn't want to move anything, then it'd actually be better for him to get onto it before he deals with the other two at the top, or leave one of the other two at the top to then reconnect back down the table. Yeah, he's played on it now. Yeah, clever thinking.
You just see Shane's face on top right of your picture, feeling it. A little shake of the head. Just has to stay in it and has to hope that he gets a chance.
Ask for the cue ball to be clean. That's the final act of the 30 seconds a shot. You won't be asking for that to be cleaned at 15 seconds a shot.
I wouldn't rule anything out.
to be fair.
15 seconds shot.
It's very nicely played. Chris Melling goes on the hill. Oh, it's just such a booming break. Can't believe that's dry. And neither can Shane Thompson. Deserted him at the worst possible time. And Chris Melling is on the hunt. It's a tough break, that, for Shane. It really is.
He will fear the worst. And the layout is such that he should expect to fear the worst. It's a fairly natural connection here. Bottom left corner gets you right centre, and then he just wants to come across to the straight on the one top left, and that is match over. May have left this yet. He shows it's a touch straight.
This is it. Chris Melling for another Pro Series title. Fantastic performance. Your Pro Series 10 winner is Chris Melling.